Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So good to see you all. I had a question that I wanted to answer in today's video. Is Hiyuki free to play friendly, and who is her best support from the existing roster of characters? We're going to answer that today by putting Baizhi, Verina, Buling, Shorekeeper, Mourn, and Chisa all to the test, comparing damage numbers and completion clear times to see who is the best support, and is she really tied to Chisa because of the negative status, or does she have other options that can hold a candle? Now, I want to start with Baizhi because I actually feel like she's extremely underrated because of her clunky playstyle. First off, we're going to start with she can hold a Rejuvenating Glow set, which gives a 15% attack buff to the entire team for 30 seconds upon healing. Then, if you're running Fallacy of No Return in the 4 cost, when you use the tap skill, you get an energy regen and an attack buff of 10% for 20 seconds. When you use her skill, she drops a feather called Euphonia that increases the attack of the resonator who picks it up by 15% for 20 seconds. If you have S6, that feather also grants a glacial damage bonus of 12% for 20 seconds. And her outro gives a 15% damage amplification, but it's only for 6 seconds. Now, adding it all up, we're talking about a 40% attack increase, a 12% glacial damage bonus increase, and a 15% damage amplification overall. It's actually kind of insane when you put it all together. Now, because of the clunky nature of Baizhi, I ran over to the corner of the arena because I noticed that wherever my camera was facing, the Tempest Memphis would always place himself in front of me, so if I put myself in a corner, he would pop up and put himself up against the wall, which was perfect position for me to do all of my attacks. I always made sure to use Baizhi's skill last because it only had about a 10-second on-field duration before it disappeared, and if you know anything about rotations of most characters, it takes around 10 seconds or more times than not. But once I ran over, introed in, and picked up the feather, the damage was amazing. Look at that. The dash is going crazy, doing massive damage. My normal attacks going off, and of course the heavy attack into the ult, just doing absolute bonker damage. And this is a purely 1.0 team besides Hiyuki. And for comparison's sake, we were able to complete this doing the same rotations for both Jianshin and Hiyuki at 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Now, moving over to Verina, she has the same caveat that Baizhi had. She can run the Rejuvenating Glow set, she can run Fallacy of No Return 4 cost, and her outro gives a 15% damage amplification for 30 seconds. Verina's Forte circuit also grants a 20% attack bonus for 20 seconds whenever she performs a heavy attack, mid-air attack, ultimate, or outro, which is literally her entire kit besides normal attacks. Altogether, we're granted a 45% attack bonus and a 15% damage amplification for 30 seconds. Now this is my normal attack, heavy attack, dashing, and ultimate damage, and we were able to clear in a respectable 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Moving over to Buling, she too can use the Rejuvenating Glow set and Fallacy of No Return, giving a 25% attack bonus. She also has her outro, which grants a 15% damage amplification for 30 seconds. This is the damage we were able to pump out with her for our normal, heavy, dash attacks, and ultimate, and we were able to clear in a respectable 3 minutes and 7 seconds remaining. Do keep in mind that Buling also grants Electro Flare, which is a negative status, but because it didn't really apply to Hiyuki, I didn't bother mentioning it. Now, moving over to Shorekeeper. Her weapon grants a 14% attack bonus for 30 seconds upon healing, and she can run the Rejuvenating Glow set with the Fallacy for another 25% bonus attack. She also has a damage amplification of 15% for 30 seconds on her outro, and her Liberation gives a crit rate bonus at 250% energy regen of 12% and a crit damage bonus of 25%. For a total of 39% attack bonus, crit rate of 12.5, and crit damage of 25%, and a damage amplification of 15%. This was the total damage for my normal, skill, heavy, and my ult, finishing with a clear time of 3 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. Now, moving over to Mourn. Her Echo set, Halo of Starry Radiance, gives a 25% attack bonus. She gives a 25% damage amplification on her outro for 30 seconds. And she gives a 40% damage amplification at 260 energy regen. In total, she gives a 25% attack bonus and a 65% damage amplification. This is the amount of damage I was able to pump out from my normal attacks, skill, heavy, and her ult, clearing in a respectable and video leading 324 left on the clock. Moving over to Chisa, her weapon gives a 24% all attribute damage bonus on negative status application. She's running Rejuvenating Glow with Fallacy as the forecast for the 25% attack bonus. She could run the Thread of Bane Echo set, but it only amplifies her own damage, so we forego that. Her outro allows for the max stacks of negative statuses to be increased by 3 for 15 seconds. When you inflict negative statuses, it grants Thread of Bane for 15 seconds, which gives 18% defense ignore. On paper, she should be perfect for Hiyuki. In total, she gives a 24% all attribute damage bonus on negative status application. She gives a 25% attack bonus. She gives a maximum stacks for negative status increased by 3. And she gives a 18% defense ignore. And after witnessing all of the damage she dishes out, we clear in a respectable 3 minutes and 13 seconds left on the clock. Now I want to start by saying I don't own Lene, so I wasn't able to test her, but from what I know, her outro gives liberation damage and damage amplification bonus, so she probably still would have been one of the better supports for Hiyuki. We'll never know because I don't have her. Now, some of the variables that I tried to keep the same so that way it was a fair comparison. I always made sure to play Hiyuki and Jianshin the exact same for every single showcase. I always showed damage within the first minute before any of the TOA buffs were activated. I kept the same builds across all testing, and the only variable was the supports. I didn't do any quick swapping. I made sure to do a 1-2-3 playstyle for the casual audience, which is the majority. Alright, it's time to fulfill our promise to determine how free-to-play friendly is Hiyuki, and as of version 3.3, who is her best support? Okay, really quickly I'm going to talk about sequences and signature weapons, and then we're going to get into those numbers. Baizhi, Verina, Buling, Shorekeeper, Mourn, and Chisa in order: S6, S6, S2, S1, S1, S0. For signature weapons, only Shorekeeper and Chisa had their signature weapons, everyone else was working with the 4-star. The reason why this is important? Verina's S6 really was kind of pointless because it increases her own personal damage and healing, and that's it. Baizhi's S6, the only thing that does is gives a 12% glacial damage bonus to the feather from her skill to whoever picks it up. Shorekeeper's S1 only makes it so that way her Stellaram field, when she puts her ultimate out, is slightly bigger, and whenever you do her mini intro, the field doesn't go away so the buffs stay active. Mournier's S1 takes her from a Toon Break focused team to a universal support for everyone else, and that is it. They don't change how much damage they give you or any amplification statuses. Everything stays the same as their S0 version. Now, talking about clear times, it looks like Mournier comes in first place with 1 minute and 36 seconds, followed by Shorekeeper, Chisa, Verina, Buling, and then Baizhi. I want to take these numbers and ask that question we asked at the beginning. Do we finally have an answer? Is Hiyuki free-to-play friendly? I think the answer is unequivocally yes. Look at the damage for her normal attacks, dashes, heavy, all. These are extremely similar numbers across the board. The only difference would be clear time, I would say, and that's because of about a 30-second window from last place to first place. But if you look at the crux of it, Baizhi is finishing 15 to 20 seconds mostly from everybody else, and she's a 1.0 4-star unit. I think that's absolutely insane. So, is she free-to-play friendly? Absolutely. I do not think she is tied to a Chisa-focused negative status build. I think you can take any unit, a standard 5-star Verina, a standard 4-star character Baizhi, or a regular Shorekeeper, which you're probably going to pull because she's still one of the better supports, and you can do perfectly fine. She is amazing, absolutely wonderful, and she does a crap ton of damage with everyone. I think she is free-to-play friendly by far. Now, keep in mind, it looks like S1 Mournier is the best unit here to support her. However, if you do not have Lene or S1 Mournier, she should not even be on this board. I want to say that right now, because without either one of those, she will not have her full kit utilized. So please keep that in mind. You need to have Lene or you need to have S1 if you want Mournier to be a support. Again, I don't have Lene on my account, so I wasn't able to test her, but she definitely would have finished somewhere in the top 3, because on her outro, she gives liberation damage bonus and damage amplification, but I can't test it because I don't have her. Sorry, I'm not a whale, you know? Alright guys, you do what you want with these numbers. I just thought it was extremely fascinating and wanted to share them with you. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys enjoy the content, found it educational, and all that good stuff. With that being said, I hope to see you guys in the next one, and thanks for stopping by. Godman out.